For more than 17 years, my family was in the pawn industry. We would buy and lend money on second-hand goods. One of the things that frustrated us as a family business was that clients would come in. After 17 years in business, they would walk in and they'd say, "We've never seen you here before." Now, these people would drive up and down the main street. They would walk up and down the main street every single day. Yet after 17 years, they had never known that we were there in business. Now, the same thing might be happening to you in business right now, and it can be incredibly frustrating. You're there, you've got a message, but nobody can see you. It's extremely frustrating and it's very tiring. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to apply the law of visibility into your business. As soon as you apply the law of visibility, you'll start to generate hot leads. People who will start to say, "I want that product and service and I want it now." As a result, you'll be able to increase your sales and your profitabilities. So I want you to take note of this. What you've got to remember is that 80% of the people who can buy your product and service right now don't even know that you exist. It's a huge number. 80% of the people who could buy your products and services, they don't even know that you exist. Now, as we start to apply the law of visibility, you'll start to see some significant increases in the leads into your business. Step one, write this one down. You've got to remember that 95% of your first impressions are visual. Now, at the pawnbroking business, we had a huge shop front. A shop front that people should have been able to see for hundreds of meters away. Unfortunately, they couldn't see it. So what we had to do is we had to catch their eyes. And what we did, we took our giant window displays that were beautiful in glass and we painted them bright fluorescent orange. We painted them bright fluorescent orange and people could see these windows from hundreds of meters away. They'd see this bright orange fluorescent paint on the window. And by the time they got to the front of the shop, they could see exactly what we did. So you've got to think about right now, if you've got a retail space, how can you catch the eye of the customer as they're walking past or driving past the store? And they have to be able to see it from a long distance away. That's the first step. The second thing is you've got to tell people clearly what you do. Your message has to be so clear that a 6-year-old can understand it. Now, here's the perfect example. I live in Taipei. Recently, I went to Taipei 101, one of the world's tallest buildings. I walked inside and I was walking through the food court. Now, there was crazy bulldog attacking the family. So I'm walking through Taipei 101 and I'm looking and I'm trying to discover, what do I want for dinner? And I'm looking at all these signs and I can't understand anything about these shops. They've got all these fancy names, but I don't know the food that they serve. So I turn around and I see a shop front and it says beer and chicken. Automatically, as soon as I saw what it was, I could decide what to buy. And at that stage, they got my business. So what we did, the pawnbroking business, was we painted the front of the shop bright orange. And then in giant black letters, we wrote on the front of the store, "We buy second-hand goods." Now, this strategy alone, fluorescent signs, big black letters that said, "We buy second-hand goods," generated hundreds of extra leads into our business each and every month. So think about what it is that you do and how can you simply tell people what you do in one short sentence. For us, it was, "We buy second-hand goods." And for people who had never seen us before, we went from invisible to visible immediately. So you've got to have a very clear message. Step number 3, you have to be a moving target. Now, I want you to think about McDonald's. And McDonald's, we might not agree with what they serve or how they produce it, but they're phenomenal marketers and they're a moving target. McDonald's marketing message changes from morning, noon, and night. McDonald's message also changes from each day of the week. The messages that they send out during the weekday are very different to what they send out on the weekend. And they also change their marketing message as the season changes. And so should you. So I want you to think about what's happening in the world of your customer, morning, noon, and night. What happens at the start of the week for them? What happens at the end of the week? What happens on the weekend? Also think about what happens to their businesses at certain times of year. Remember, your customers are a moving target and you have to become a moving target as well. Now, the fourth part of the law of flexibility is you've got to flood the market with your message. You have to be seen everywhere. And today we have some of the best free marketing platforms. They're better than at any other time in history. We have Facebook, Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Google sites. We have so many free sites like Twitter where you can flood the market with your marketing messages. Years ago, when we had a retail business, we were limited because of the time of history we're in. We had yellow pages, we had street signs, and we had our shop front. We didn't have access to these free platforms. But with what you've got today, you can start to flood the market. And we flood the market here in our business. And what we get is by flooding the market, by constantly adding value to the marketplace, we generate hundreds of free leads into our business each and every year. And it's because we're going from invisible to visible. If people can't see you, if people don't know that you're there, in their minds, you don't exist. So you've got to put in the effort here, and you have to flood the market with marketing messages. Flood it with photos, flood it with posts, flood it with free content. Flood it with ideas that can help your ideal target grow their bottom line revenues or improve their life in some way, shape, or form. So let's wrap it up and let's have a look at the law of visibility once again. First of all, 95% of your first impressions are visual, so you have to catch their eye. Secondly, 80% of the people who can buy your products and services today, they don't know that you're existing. They don't know that you exist, so you have to tell them clearly what you do. Remember the example, chicken and beer. They got the message. Thirdly, you have to be a moving target. Now, as the taste of your market changes, you also need to change the ingredients to your marketing mix. So they move and you move. Fourthly, you've got to flood the market. You've got to be at the top of the mind and the tip of the tongue of your ideal prospect at each and every given hour of the day. So here's the point. Right now, 80% of the people who could buy your product and service don't even know that you're existing. You are invisible. And when you apply the law of visibility into everything that you do, you'll become visible, they will see you, and then they will buy you. Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, share it with somebody that you know, and be sure that you subscribe to this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day.